Another weekend has arrived. It's Friday night. Going to get a battle going here. So we're still in the first round of the Fight 'em Up series by Finnegan 40K. We have seen Azrael take on Gazkul. Gazkul won that one. And then we just witnessed the Lion defeat Vashtor the Archifane. So our next first round fight is going to be Angron versus the Norn Assimilator. I actually haven't used either of these models on the tabletop. They look very similar on paper. Angron has a much further movement, but no ranged attack. The Norn Assimilator, shorter movement, does have ranged attack, but the ranged attack is within Angron's movement. So it's going to be super interesting in hand-to-hand combat as well. Both very good. Angron has some very good buffs, however, from the Demons of Khorne there, and we're going to get into that when he gets his first turn. So we're going to roll off here, and as always, whoever gets the first roll gets to be set up on the table first. Last time, too, I apologize, guys, but I saw some of the dice was kind of rolling off the table there. It was out of frame. So I'm going to try a lot better this time to capture that and maybe start taking the camera off the tripod to just catch the rolls. So we're going to go with Angron first. So the red dice is Angron. He's rolled a 5. The Norn Assimilator is next, and it's rolled a 1. So Angron is going to go first. I'm going to check out the board, see what's going to be best for him. They're both pretty towering, beastly models, so I think they'll be able to see each other over top of all of the terrain for line of sight. But again, Angron does not have that range, so the Norn Assimilator might be able to harpoon him if he's not paying attention and has to get up over a building or something. So we'll see how the battle moves forward. This is going to be a good one, I think. And I don't want to say that the first couple battles were a little weaker, but the models coming up on the back end are very strong. So next up is going to be Rabutia Gilliman versus his brother Mortarion, who is also a Daemon Primarch. That's going to be very interesting. And whoever wins this fight is going to be taking on the winner of that one. But we'll get to this one first. So I'm going to be placing Angron on the board, and then we'll start his movement and see how this one rolls out. So our models are placed. As you can see, the Norn Assimilator that rolled lower is over on this corner of the board. We have Angron over here. If you guys want to check out the Last Stand series, I did have the world leaders in there, and you can see the Blessings of Khorne. Just a really quick kind of synopsis of what that is. You get to roll 8d6 at the start of a Khorne model's turn that has that ability. And from those rolls, you can give them specific kind of buffs to be able to help out. This can also bring Angron back to life if he's been killed, reborn in blood. So the rolls here are going to be super important. I'm going to do that right now on camera, and we'll see what we get. So I'll just pull them out here. So we have group these together. 2 1s, we got 2 5s, we have a 4, a 2, and a 2. So what you can do here is, like, if you need a certain amount of dice, you can make your higher dice into lower. So the 2s can become 1s, the 4s can become 3s, the 5s can become 4s, whichever one you want to do. I know I used Total Carnage a lot during that Last Stand series. What I'm going to do here is Total Carnage. This is not really going to be used as of yet, but these dice are going to become very important. And with Angron as well, you have the ability to reroll. So that's going to become very important if I do want to bring him back with his Reborn in Blood. But we're going to start moving here. Angron has a very impressive 14-inch move. He is flying as well, so he can cover this field very quickly. And I'm going to get him out right away. And as I do, I play with the lore of these characters. So this is a World Eater that has the Butcher's Nails driven into his skull still, even though he is a demon. So they are still screaming, and they just want blood and carnage. So he does not have a ranged attack. We're going to move over to the Norn Assimilator, and I'm going to play a little bit smarter here. The Tyranid are not stupid creatures, and it's being controlled by the hive mind. So they're staring each other down. The 12-inch attack from the Norn Assimilator would reach about here on the field. It's also got a really high strength attack. So if by some chance Angron's getting a little too cavalier there and trying to jump into hand-to-hand, it's very possible that actually this is 10 inches. So he can move a little bit more. I don't want him to come out of that cover though, because Angron's going to have to go around it if they want to get into hand-to-hand. So with Angron's move here, he's just outside of range there of the hand-to-hand combat. I bring him here, and there's that obstacle in the way, so even if he flew, he'd be landing on top of it. So the Norn Assimilator might actually get the first attack here. Angron is going to fly in as close as he can, There we go. So the Norn Assimilator could get into hand combat here right off the bat, but I'm going to try its ranged attack first. So make sure these guys are still in frame for you too. I'll move the camera a little bit. There we go. So just tighten the camera up there a little bit. I'm going to make sure that I'm rolling there in frame as well. So what's going to happen here is the Norn Assimilator is going to be able to use its distance attack. I could go into hand-to-hand here. Maybe I will, because he would get the initiative. Yeah, he's only got 2 attacks with his Toxin Injector Harpoon with the ranged. The melee is 6 attacks plus 4. So I'm actually going to get him into hand-to-hand combat first. So these are both big models, as you can see. So right now we have Angron and the Norn Assimilator locked in hand-to-hand combat. So I'm just looking through Angron's faction abilities there with Blessings of Khorne. And the total carnage, like, it's nice. It's just, it's going to only happen if he dies. And actually, you know what? Because he can come back, I'm going to keep that locked in. So Blessings of Khorne. It is going to be the Norn Assimilator's turn here. But if some chance he's able to kill Angron here, Angron's going to be able to fight back. And then we'll have to see if his Reborn in Blood comes into action. So I'm just going to check here. I want to make sure that I'm rolling in the frame. So I'm probably going to roll it there just to the bottom of the yellow Prometheum container. So this is the melee weapons of the Norn Assimilator. We have the monstrous Scything Talons, which are going to be 6 attacks, hitting on a 2+. They are strength 9, -2 to AP, and 3 damage, whatever goes through. So we're going to roll those first. It's 2+s here. So I'm just going to bring them here because I know that's in frame. So 4 of those went through, 4 out of the 6. There's no reroll here, so these 2 have been removed. He is going to get extra attacks, but we'll see what this does. So it is strength 9 versus toughness 11, needs 5s to wound. Only got 1 through, much tougher roll to make. And it is -2 to AP, so this is going to bring Angron up to his 4+ invulnerable. And he saved it with a 5, so no damage to Angron. There is the extra attacks of the Norn Assimilator, and that's going to be 4 coming through with the Toxin Injector Harpoons. Much higher strength here, so we'll get to that in just a sec. But it is 4 attacks hitting on 2+. Got to make those first before we can do anything else. And I have not flipped that over. It is a 4, so 1 did fall off. We have a 2 and 2 4s. That is strength 12 versus toughness 11, so that's going to be 3s to wound. Wow, so I'm not rolling great for my Tyranid here. So 2 have fallen off. We do have 1 that's gone through, and it is a -3 to AP, but Angron does have that 4+, so we're going to be saving here. If he can make it, he did not make it. So with this damage, it is a D6 +1, so this is possible to do up to 7 damage to Angron. So let's see what happens here from the damage. So it is a 3 + 1, that's 4 wounds. So Angron is down to 12 right off the bat. And we're going to flip over to him here in just a sec because he is going to be able to counterattack with his hand-to-hand combat. So with that first bout there, we did see Angron lose some wounds. It's now moving back over to him for his counterattack. So he has 2 profiles for his hand-to-hand weapon. It is Seminarius and the Spine Grinder. So there's a strike and a sweep. Since the Norn Assimilator has such a high toughness, I am going to use the strike attack. So that is going to be 8 attacks, hitting on 2+. So let's do that first. I'll roll it over here. I think you guys can see that, so I'll just move them out this way. So there was a 1 that was rolled, so that has fallen off. The strength on this is phenomenal. It is 14 strength versus an 11 toughness, so that's going to be 3s to wound. And 2 more have fallen off, but that's still a lot through. The Norn Assimilator has a... Wow, he does not have an invulnerable save, so that's going to be very interesting because the strike attack does a -3. So that's a huge downside to the Norn Assimilator that I'm actually just noticing now. So it is going to have to make a 5+ save here, and each one that goes through is a damage D6 +2. So this is actually 6, 12, 18, yeah, this could maybe kill him. You got to get a really good roll, but -3, so this is 5s for the Norn Assimilator. So he did save 2. So 2 were saved. These, however, have gone through. So 2, 2, 3. And we're going to see how much damage is actually done here by Angron. So it's going to be d6 plus 2. That is a 6. That's 8. That's 3, 5. And 4, a 6. So 6, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 damage. That is the end of the Norn Assimilator. I'm just going to check that. I just want to be sure. I'm going to look at the stats here again, because if that's the case, Angron has finished this thing in his very first counterattack. So I just checked. I'm not crazy, and the Norn Assimilator does not have an invulnerable, so that blew my mind. I thought it at least had like a 4 or 5 plus invulnerable. It does not. It does have a deadly demise, but that's still not going to kill Angron, and he's going to move into the next fight with his full wound, so I'm not even going to do that. But literally, the Norn Assimilator went in, tried to do hand-to-hand combat. It did strip a few wounds off of Angron. Angron got super pissed off and came back and put his sword and axe probably right through the head of the Norn Assimilator. That is insane. So I don't know who out there is going to be able to beat Angron. I guess if they have an invulnerable save, it's going to be a little bit easier for them. But as of now, the Norn Assimilator has gone down super fast. This might be our fastest battle so far, and possibly the fastest battle throughout the entire heavyweight division. We'll have to see for the Fight 'em Up series by Finnegan 40K. But that is the end of the Norn Assimilator. Angron has won. And I'm going to get the next battle out here right away, because I want to see who's going to be taking him on in the next round, whether it's going to be Mortarion or Rabute Gilliman. Thank you guys for watching. That was a super fast one. I probably should have shot there with the Norn Assimilator, but with the speed and range of Angron, he would have been on top of him in no time. And with the initiative, he may have killed the Norn Assimilator without taking any damage. But yeah, this is a good one, quick one. And I'm going to get Rabute and Mortarion out here, and we're going to keep moving through round 1 and see who's going to be moving into round 2 against Angron. Thank you guys again. Please give us a like, subscribe. It's Finnegan 40K Fight 'em Up series, heavyweight class. Bye-bye.